Hey guys, so this video actually ended up being much longer than I expected it to be. It ended up being like 45 minutes long, which is much longer than I intended it to be. Anyways, this is an invitation for all of you to not feel the need to watch the whole way through. If you want to, great. I go in depth with a lot of things, so it could be really useful for a lot of you, but also feel free to play this at like 2 times speed, which is what I always do on YouTube anyways, or just kind of skip around, see what parts seem interesting to you. So I just wanted to put that out there because it is quite a long video. So enjoy, guys. Hey guys, welcome back. And I'm doing a full Prius setup tour today. I've gotten a couple requests to do this. I've been building this thing out for a month or two, and I've been living in it for about a week or two. And I've perfectly engineered this whole setup for my needs, and it works really well for me. And so it's not going to fit everyone's specifications exactly, but I think it's going to give a lot of ideas to a lot of you out there. Maybe you guys can even give me some recommendations. But overall, I just wanted to share this because I put a lot of time and effort into this, and I think a lot of you could benefit from seeing it, and a couple of you have been requesting to see it. So here we are. So I'm going to get started. Quite a lot of things to go over. I guess I'll start with the back, which is kind of the most important part. So I have this curtain, first of all, which is what you see from the front. You know what? I'll go front to back. So we're going to start with the front here. So I try to keep my dash pretty clean. I have these guys, which is probably the most important part of my setup. They're both named Jerry, Jerry 1 and Jerry 2. They just keep me company here. But apart from that, I like to keep my dash clean. I have my mask here on just a, what are these called? Oh my God, what are these called? I forget what brand these are called, but you know, the 3M tape, super popular, just sticks stuff to it. That works really well just for a mask there. I keep that pretty clean. I have my mod welcome packet up there, not related. I have my phone holder here, which is actually a really nice one. It sticks to your dash right here. I didn't want to get one that stuck into the vents because I did that on my old car and it kind of ruined the vents. Now this Prius vent is really, really sturdy, so I doubt it would harm the Prius at all if I got one of those, but I just got one of these, which is, it's pretty nice. So I've got that. And then the only other thing on here is this little bin that I've double-sided taped to the dash here, and that just holds some miscellaneous things. So I've got this solar powered just light for the night when so obviously there's a, well, let me point to what I'm looking at. So we've got that light up there at night that we can turn on, but that is quite bright, and so this one is adjustable lighting, and we can just use this. Also, when the car is not on and I want lighting, we can use this. Now, I'm not sure how well this charges through the windshield, because maybe that, I've heard somewhere that windshields block UV light, so maybe this isn't getting charged. We'll have to see if it runs out, but so far so good. And I just have my gloves on there. I put my glasses up here too. That's it for the dash. Trying to keep it pretty simple up there. No super complex modifications up here. But right here, what I have is actually 2 dash cams. So I've got the one dash cam here, and this is a Next Base, that's the Next Base 522 GW. So that's kind of like the middle model there. Now these things are really expensive. I think that was like 300 bucks or something from Best Buy. Not the smartest decision. Well, as you'll see, not the smartest decision at all that I've made, but it serves me well. It's a really good quality dash cam. So you know, it does its job. It records, it's high definition, so it does everything very well. But one thing this does not have is a large screen for like an always on back camera, because as you see, this one has, sorry, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but this is recording the rear, this is recording the front. So I actually have another camera attached to the back of the car that is recording the back. But that's such a small little thing that you can't use that as like a backup camera. Since I have a fully blacked out back of the car, I need, well, you don't need it, but it's nice to have something to actually see out of the back. So I actually got this other dash cam. This is like Rexing is the brand, I think. And it's a much bigger screen, and that also has a rear facing. So I actually have 2 dash cams, 2 rear cameras. Only one of these is able to face forward because this Next Base is actually in front of the front camera on this one, but I'm not worried about this because this dash cam is actually pretty bad quality. But for all of you who are looking into dash cams, I would recommend getting one of these, a Rexing, but get like the higher end model. So it'll be like $200. I paid like $100 for this, but the camera quality is shit. So get one that has like 2K resolution or something like that, and that'll be perfect. And this thing I love. I don't use it to record at all. Like, it's recording now, just, you know, in case this one happens to fail. But the only purpose for this is so I can always see out of my back when the car is on, which is great, because my back is fully blacked out. So that's the dash cam setup. And these I've wired. Basically what you can do here is you can kind of get underneath this, use like a tool, like a screwdriver, or I actually used, so I have WeatherTech, I forget what these are called, but basically they allow you to like roll down your window without like rain getting through and stuff. And there's a tool that came with this that I used to pry, you don't really pry it, but you just kind of like make a little opening and then shove a wire in. And you do that all the way around, and then you go in here, and then under here, and then through here. And I have that going on both sides of the car. And so I have actually 4 wires running from here to the back. So 2 for each. So we have a power and a back camera, and then also a power and a back camera for this one. And those are all just tucked in here nicely. Before I was just kind of like putting them under here and under here, but that looked really bad. So I looked up how to do it. There are a bunch of videos online, but you can just tuck them nicely under everything, and you can get it so you can barely ever see the wire. It was too tight for me here, so this is the only place you can actually see the wire for me. But apart from that, it's looking nice. So that's my dash cam setup. Yeah, nothing else up here. So the front seat I try to keep pretty clean, obviously, because I'm sitting here. I keep 1 extra pair of shoes here. These are just the shoes I use for work. I've got my daily Croc drivers, of course, my B Crocs, by the way, which are awesome. But that's the only thing I keep up here. Oh, another thing up here, down here, sorry. Let me get that to focus. So this is actually just an extension. It's kind of like an extension cable for the 12-volt cigarette socket. So it plugs into here, and then out comes a USB and 2 other 12-volt sockets. So these 2 are actually both of the dash cam. That's powering the dash cam. These are just sort of like nice card games I like to bring around. I haven't actually used them yet, but I plan on it. And they're just like cards that you can pull out, and they ask, you know, pretty meaningful and cool questions that you can really get to know someone with. So, you know, as soon as I go on a date, because I've been so busy in the past, but I'm looking to get back out there. So as soon as I go on a date, or, you know, find some cool friends that I just want to get on a deeper level with, these are going to be awesome. Really looking forward to using those. That's all I have down there. I use this cubby here. I could put a drink in here, but this is just kind of like my temporary trash, or if I need to chuck something somewhere, that goes in here. I have a permanent trash in the back, but this is just easier to reach. So if I'm like taking off a straw or whatever, I can put that in here, easy. This is usually where I'll put a cup of water or something, or right now I have some Planters peanuts that I was snacking on. In the console, I have, I try not to keep receipts in here, but that's just where they end up for, if I just need to put them somewhere quick. I keep some mints in here just to freshen up. This is my coin bag, which I use for laundry. And then this also houses a 12-volt socket here. And this is actually powering my Jackery, which I'll get into later. But so whenever I have the car on, the Jackery is always going to be charging. The Jackery is a power station, if you didn't know. Okay, now my passenger seat. It looks a little more crowded because I have my winter coat here. I'm just going to chuck that in the back for a sec. And my penny board, which I will also chuck in the back for a sec. But this is basically what my front seat will look like. So I'll be releasing another video, I think, about how I do laundry and keep my clothes organized. But basically this box here is actually what is housing my clothes. Or sorry, my shirts. So I have all of my shirts nicely rolled up there, and that's gonna keep them really wrinkle free. I know it's an odd way to store clothes, but I needed something long that I could put my long rolls of clothes in. And the way I roll clothes, they end up being really long, like that. So I needed somewhere to put that. These 2, by the way, the reason they're not in the box, these are my work shirts. I work at Mod Pizza, so we have, you know, our work shirts. And so I want to keep those separate. I just lay them there. Here is kind of my toiletry bag. This keeps everything that I need when I go into Planet Fitness, to the bathroom or toothbrush. It's got, I can quickly show you inside of here. Let me put the camera down for a sec. I've got, you know, razors, I've got soap, I've got teeth brushing stuff, I've got my cologne, my mouthwash, my deodorant, just some soap, miscellaneous toiletry things. And this is also just the bag I use to take into Planet Fitness or anywhere where I'm gonna have to use a bathroom setup. Down here, I keep my sweatpants. That's just what I wear at night, and then what I work out in. I don't typically get very sweaty when I work out in, so I can get by with just using one pair of sweatpants. And then down here, I keep my socks and my underwear, and then that's my dirty clothes bag. So that's what I have up here. And that stays there. And this front seat tends to stay pretty clean. I don't want it to clutter up. Right now I'm keeping my penny board up here, so it's not the cleanest. And also my winter coat. So it's got quite a lot of stuff up there right now, but I mean, it's not bad looking. So that's it for the front, really. Now we're gonna go to the back. So I have this curtain here. And that's almost a full blackout curtain. It's blackout in that it won't let any light through here, but the sides and the top will let out some light. So it's not perfect, but it is definitely good enough. I've made I think the video before this video is a video that's showing the full blackout setup, and you can, in that video, you see that really no light gets through here. If you crouch low in front of the car, you can see a little light bleed from the top, but that's really it. Like if it's pitch black at night and you have a light on in the back, the only bleed that's getting through is a little bit at the top that you can only see if you crouch down up there, and then a little bit at the sides. But that's it. And so it's a really good curtain, and it's nice. And I can just roll it up and down based on what I'm needing right now. And that's the entrance to the back. So let me go ahead and scoot on back for now. Oh my god, it's so much cooler back here. Forgot I wasn't actually having the AC on very high. So anyways, this is the back here. This curtain is made, this is actually not drilled or anything. This is just made, this is held up by pure friction. So I have these little hooks here that will just insert in behind this plastic piece, and then this rod here is literally just like a $2 rod I found, like super cheap curtain shower rod that I found at Home Depot for like actually $2, and it's adjustable with this spring here, and it's just being held up by tension. It's really kind of crazy how well this holds up, but like you can put a lot of flex and, you know, like tension on that. Obviously if you use it, like if you put your whole weight on this, it's gonna fall, obviously. But like doing this, or you know, anything you need for a curtain, this thing will always hold up. Now I've got it to fall a couple times, so you could even like put a little thing down there so it wouldn't, but honestly this is fine. Those hooks is right here. These are these hooks. I can take that out real quick. That's just what they look like. I got them in the fastener section of Home Depot, and that's just all they are. Like it's not anything protruding really. It's like that's all it is. And that's just, there's just rubber feet on here, and they rest up against those hooks, and it just stays up. It's kind of cool. I'll try and find these links on the Home Depot website so I can link them so you guys can use these. But I mean, you can get really creative with this. I tried a couple things before this, but this ended up working the best by far. So if you guys can find something like that, I definitely recommend going this route. And then I just have a little black felt for the sides on this side as well. And then the main section is just an actual curtain that I got at like Lowe's or Home Depot, and that can just fold over like that, and that'll block out all light. No light can get through that. And I've just kind of sewed in two sections here. So the bottom section is where the bar is actually going through, and then the top section is only there to just to prevent a little more light going out, because if there was none, it would be like that, and you could, you know, a bunch more light could get out. With that flap on top, a bunch more is going to be blocked out. So that's the theory behind that, and you know, that can just really easily go back and forth. For now I'm going to keep it open. Enough about that. we've got our typical blackout window shades. I don't know what you call them, but just reflective setup. Watch my previous video if you want to more in detail about how I set these up. I actually think I do still have footage of how I actually made these, so I could release those at a future date if you guys are interested, but not going to go into too much detail about these right here, but pretty basic reflective setup. That's going to block out 100% of the light. And then in the back, I just have some white poster board. You could do the exact same thing with the reflectix here. I just got lazy. Since I have a pretty good tint on the back, I can just get away with just doing like white poster board, and I have these little wooden sticks in here for support, because if you've ever tried to make an always on or really just any cover for this part here, it's gonna sag like hell and fall almost every time, so you need like those wooden sticks for support. Anyways, let's get into the meaty stuff of this build. So back here, there are no back seats. I've taken that out and made a custom platform. At a future date, I also have the footage for how I actually made this platform, and I saved, like, I tried to record as much as possible. So I recorded me like cutting it, all the dimensions that I measured, what I bought, so that I have all of that. If you guys are interested, let me know, and I can basically share all the footage I used to actually make this platform. But all it is a wooden, like close to 2 foot by 1 foot piece of plywood with just a mat on top of it, and it's just being held up by a couple supports. And this, like, it kind of seems counterintuitive because I don't even use this extra space down here for storage. I wanted to keep that bottom space as clean as possible, because there are some pretty important wires and the like hybrid battery wire under there that I don't want to mess with. I don't want anything touching that. So just for safety reasons, I'm not putting anything under here. And I got this platform as low as possible without messing up anything below here. So in reality, it's only about, 3.5 inches lower than what the seat initially would have been. But those extra couple inches allow me to sit fully straight up. So like right now my back is fully extended and my hat is just barely touching the top of the car. Before I would only be able to like sort of crouch, and that's not comfortable for a full living space. So anyways, I built this, and this being fully flat allows me to put like build things here. So I was initially going to build like a sort of counter here with some storage underneath and a fridge, the microwave on top of here. I just ended up not wanting to do that, and this setup just ended up working better. So I have my microwave down here. I store my bowl and my plate in there. And then on top of that, I just have a bin that's just being held on by by 3M tape, double-sided tape under here, and then a bungee cord to prevent this whole thing from blowing. Because when I first set this up, I went around a turn, this whole thing came crashing down. The adhesive tape actually stayed stuck. So really good job for that tape. But this whole thing just became like one unit and it fell down. So that's being held up by the bungee cord, and we're cool to go around turns at our mega fast Prius speeds. I've got my big backpack in here with my big beefy laptop. I actually have a bag inside of a bag. Interesting setup, but I just do this. So this computer bag is basically for all of my essentials, and then this bigger, larger bag is able to hold my wires, my cables, just some other miscellaneous computer-ish things. So that's my backpack. Behind my backpack, I keep this little storage bin, which is what I use. I just put that here when I'm sleeping at night, and I can put like the important things. Like this is where I keep my key. I always keep track of where my key is. So I always have my key right here, and my phone and my Apple Watch to charge. So that's that. And then on the other side, I just have my trash. I keep a storage of bags back there as well. And then I keep my Febreze spray there. And I have a bigger bag of receipts down there as well. But this is just my trash. And how I empty that is I just put whatever's inside the trash into one of these bags. If I don't have a bag, I'll just take out the trash can and dump it that way. But I'll empty that about every 2 days or something. So that's pretty good. Set up right there. This is where I keep my paper towels right now. I splurged and got some chips yesterday, so that's where I'm keeping my chips, because I don't have too much pantry space, but that's just typically where I'll put the paper towel roll. Now there's a lot more space there that I can keep other stuff, so I'll end up finding a way how to use that space some other time. But for now, that's all I'm using that for. Down here is sort of my kitchen. So my white vinegar is actually how I clean my dishes. So this is like my dish soap. I have water, big water jugs. This is what I use for my water, and I can just fill this up at Planet Fitness, wherever they have like clean, really anywhere that has like a clean water fountain, you can fill this up, or you can just buy a new one. They're super cheap. I've got my pee bottle, and then my spit bottle. Pee bottle for peeing, obviously. Spit bottle for brushing my teeth, mouthwash, miscellaneous, whatever. Because I don't like to exit my vehicle at night when I'm brushing my teeth, so I just put that in there. Just got some extra forks. I'll end up throwing that away because I have my own utensil set, silverware set, so I will never use plastic forks, but I just have that there. Here is a shaker I use because I'm a really big fan of Huel, although currently I don't have any Huel in here to mix that up with, but this could be a good container, I don't know, just for anything. It's a shaker, so if I had some muscle milk or something, it's good for there. And I have some Tupperware containers back there. I've got the spices, sauces in here. This is actually what I eat with most of the time, because I like eating out of let me put this back. I like eating out of this big giant bowl, and a regular spoon will just like constantly fall in and get messy. So I actually like having like a giant spoon to eat with. So I eat with this a lot. If it's a smaller meal, I'll just use the plate because it's easier to clean. And I'll use regular utensils. But that's all there. Under here, I keep just kind of house cleaning things. So I have extra paper towels down there. I have trash bags, and I have Ziplocs. Ziplocs are super essential for van life, or car life. So any food that you opened, you need to put in a Ziploc and put it back in your fridge if you have a fridge. But what's super important about Ziplocs is to keep your car smelling nice. So whenever you have any sort of trash that's going to smell, so that's typically food stuff. So if you're throwing away any food, or if you have a wrapper that was around like a wet food, you need to put that in a Ziploc and then put that in the trash. And yeah, I know that's using more plastic, but that is really essential, because if you just put that in the trash, even if the trash can has a lid, whenever you go to open that lid, or if it's just here, it's gonna smell so ridiculously bad. So definitely a must. You have to have a lot of plastic bags. But I try and keep my usage to a minimum. I try to reuse them if possible. So overall, it's not too bad. Here I have my Jackery, which is constantly charging. So this is a 240, which I think that means it has 240 watt hours. I'm not an electrician, so that might have been a dumb thing to say. But you can see right now it's at 48%. We're inputting 45 watts from the car, and we're not outputting anything right now. We have this 12 volt socket on. This is actually what the fridge is. So the fridge is plugged in and it's actually going right now, but it's not outputting anything, because the way this fridge works is it'll only cycle on when you need to. So about, every 30 minutes or an hour, it'll cycle on for a couple minutes and then stop. Kind of like how the Prius system is set up. So the reason I have this Jackery is because I want this fridge to be running 24/7. I do not want this fridge to only run when the car is on. That's how the 12 volt socket is sort of intended to use. You plug this into the car and it's only actually refrigerating when the car is on, but I'm not having the car on for 90% of the time. So I need to have some way of charging, of giving power to this unit when I'm at work or something. So that's what this is for, and this Jackery is constantly charging whenever the car is on, and then I can have my fridge powered when I'm away. I can get away with turning the car on for 2-3 hours a day, and that'll keep the Jackery charged up. If not, I can just go into a coffee shop, stay there for 2 hours or something. Actually, it'll take longer than 2 hours, but go to the library, get a work session out, and this Jackery can be fully charged again. So far I have not had to manually charge this, because having the Prius on is such low cost, so it's fine to just have it on. And I have it on for my power inverter, my microwave, just for AC or heating. Actually, I don't use the car for heating. I try not to. I try to just bundle up, use my sleeping bag if necessary, use my coat if necessary. I have this little 200 watt heater that I can use. It doesn't output too much heat, but it's really nice if you just I mean, it's a small space, right? But so if you just have it right in front of you, this is going to keep you, it's not going to keep you warm, but it's going to keep you decently warm, I guess. So this is actually really nice to have. And so this is actually much better for reducing the amount of time the ICE is on, the combustion engine. Just having the car on with no heat and turning on the power inverter is much cheaper than using the actual car for heat. So that's what I do for that. Back here, I have a bunch of outlets and then my remote power inverter button. And you see that turned on the microwave and back off again. So that's the front setup, and I can really plug anything into here. The microwave is constantly plugged into there. I'll plug in my computer a bunch to here when I'm gaming or, you know, whatever. I can do that. And this, the little heater just lives back there. Here, this is sort of my lounging space. Oh, so actually down here is my pantry. So I have my Huel bars, which, by the way, are great, super healthy, vegan, complete nutrition bars. So Huel started out as kind of like Soylent, if you've heard of them. But basically, it's just a meal in a cup. So they start out as just a powder, and you mix it with water, you shake it up, and you drink it. And it's like a full meal, everything you need, all the vitamins and, you know, good things you need in food. That's what complete nutrition means. And I was a huge fan of that, although in a car, powder is not the best idea. Also, having to clean a shaker out every day, not the most fun thing to do. So I've got really accustomed to eating their bars, and that's just kind of by accident. Maybe I'll get some powder in the future, but I really love these things. I'll have one of these every morning. Just a really, really clean, easy way to eat breakfast. And I really hate that I'm using this much plastic, but you know, it is what it is. So down here in my pantry, I keep my Huel bars. I have rice down there. I have bread. Actually, I have space now to fit my tortilla chips down there. But that's basically my pantry, and I can use that for secondary storage. And nothing else down here, because that's my living area. I do have this this seat right here, which is what I use when I go into the bed setup. Right now we're in lounging setup, so I have my seat set up, so I actually have a lot of space here to just kind of chill out. I can also put my legs up here if I want to elongate. And yeah, this is my chill setup. When we go into bed setup, this is what I use to just fill up the height here, so that I can actually rest my head on this side. You actually don't need to fill up the space at all. You don't need this. And then you could just rest your head on the other side of the car and just have your feet here. But just in terms of safety, you want to tend to have your head away from where a car would crash into you. So if you're parking on the side of a street, which sometimes I do, if a car would crash into you, it's way more likely it's going to crash into the back of your car. And so you want to have your head towards the front of the car as much as possible. So that's what I tend to do. And the only thing it costs is having this little seat here, and that's fine. Like, I don't mind that. So that's what I use for that. I'll show you guys that in a sec. Wow, my voice is starting to hurt. I guess I've been talking for 27 straight minutes. Wow. Okay, anyways. So this pillow I actually usually keep under my bed mattress, but sometimes I also keep it on here. It just gives the fridge a little bit more insulation. It's not a bad idea. This is my lumbar support cushion, which actually typically lives right here. It's just more comfortable when I'm lounging back here for long periods of time. Keeps my back nice and comfy. This is my fridge. So back here we have our controls for, you can turn it on. You have settings, which will switch from max to eco, and eco is what you want to keep it on. That'll keep the power consumption low, and then you can adjust the temperature. So I keep it pretty low. I think it's set to 23 right now. It's at 25 right now. It hovers. It's fine. And that's really cold. It's like in between a fridge and a freezer, but I do that so that I can keep my veggies nice and frozen, and these veggies can stay in here for well over a week. So I really like that temperature. And I've got my vegan meats in here. Now, with keeping the fridge this cold, you actually don't want to keep any like milk or juices in here because they will freeze. So this soy milk is fully frozen over, it's just a block, so I need to throw this out. But I think that's a fine price to pay for having veggies that'll stay good for a while. I have fruit in here, got some guac containers. So that's my fridge. Anything else here? I think we're good here. And then back here, I have my bed set up. So, how do I want to do this? To actually get into the back trunk, you have to get into bed setup. So I'm going to do that on camera here. So first of all, you just got to clear out whatever you're sitting on here. Actually, before I do that, let me get into the front a bit and show you guys a better view of the actual sitting area, because the iPhone front camera tends to zoom in quite a lot. Oh, actually, does this have, ooh, so I can actually, I didn't know this camera had like different zooms. All right, so I'm gonna get partially in the front. Oh God, I just, so right there, my mirror, my curtain just fell down because I was sitting on the curtain. Anyways, this is what the back looks like. It's actually a really nice sitting area. I've got this cushion here. I've got some extra cushions if I need it. And there's actually a lot of width space. So like you only use about that much seat. And then it's just, it's roomy as apart to like having the other side down for chilling. This is a really nice open roomy space. And you could even take the front seat out if you wanted to. And I actually spent the money to buy a secondary seat that I was going to rip out the cables out of, and then you use that for bypassing the airbag system, and then take out that front seat. But I ended up just keeping it in for now, so not sure if I'm going to change that in the future, but for now we're keeping the front seat in. I still have a lot of lounging space, perfect for work or gaming. Like I have frequent like long gaming sessions with the boys on Friday, and that's, you know, perfect for that. You could also work back here and stuff. Mobile hotspots do wonders. They are much faster than you think. Definitely suitable for gaming, which is not something you think about much. But yeah, so this is actually a really comfy space back here. So let me put the camera down for a sec, and put this curtain back up. I'm in a really awkward position right now. So I'm like on the front console, trying to hold up a curtain as well. Ugh. Oh God. So in situations like this is what makes me wish I had made some sort of permanent or something not held up by just friction, which honestly I probably will do eventually. But if you're not like trying to record a video, this probably will never happen to you. So let's get this back on. All right, there we go. And let me attach my Velcros back. Okay, sorry about that. We've got the curtain back up. Now let's go into bed mode. So what we do is we clear everything out from the sitting area. Actually, this can stay. Actually, the first thing we do is we prop this stool up right here, but I'm gonna skip that for now because I'm not actually sleeping. And then I'd put this cushion on top of this, the wooden seat, just so it doesn't ruin the actual back seat of the Prius. For now though, I'm just gonna bring the seat down. And if I get out of my own way, now this sits down, and that's a nice platform. Now this, just like this, will slightly slant down on this side, but if you have a stool or something here that's a little bit higher, it'll support it. And the way I have it with this stool is it's a nice, perfect, flat platform. So you definitely want a flat platform if you're going to be sleeping. So then we have our bed set up. So basically what I do here is I will take this nice sleeping mat, which this is a, let me get the brand. This is a Thermarest. And actually it's a really nice one. And it's super, super comfy. Probably comfier than the bed I was sleeping at home with. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna, so by the way, this curtain actually never falls. Like, of course it's happening on camera, but that's because like I'm trying to do everything with one hand, and like this Thermarest was actually resting against that, so I guess that pulled that down. Anyways, I'm just gonna leave that as is, but this actually never happens. That curtain never ever falls down. So but yeah, so this sleeping pad is actually really, really nice. I would recommend you don't get the long one, because this is the long version and it's just like slightly too long. I make it work, but I would, if I had to buy it again, I would get the regular length version. I've got a really nice UGQ quilt / sleeping bag here. Let me get the tag there. So UGQ Outdoors LLC. It's a really, really nice one. This is the Outlaw, so it's basically like a hybrid between a quilt and a sleeping bag. So basically you can convert it into everything between a blanket, so it'll convert completely just into a blanket, and then you can zip it all the way up into a full mummy bag. So it's really great for a bunch of different temperatures. Now, I would never use this in the summer. That's going to be way too hot. In summer, I'll just store it back. But all 3 other seasons, this is perfect. And I've slept all the way down to, I think, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. With this, I had to use an extra blanket in a 20-degree weather, which, you know, this is rated for 0 degrees. Maybe I'm just a really cold sleeper. But this also doesn't feel very ploofy. And I contacted UGQ, and they weren't sure. They weren't really able to help me see if this was the correct fill, because it kind of seems like the similar fill that you would get in maybe a 20 degree sleeping bag. But regardless, it's still a really great bag. I'm happy with it. It was very expensive though, but really, really great. For the colder temperatures, just use an extra blanket and it's fine. So that's what I use there. I've got a little baby pillow, big pillow. I wear socks to bed because I want to keep the sleeping bag as clean as possible. I also wear the sweatpants to bed. And that's the sleeping setup. Feet over there, head over here, and that's enough room. I'm 5'11", and that's perfect. So that's the bed setup. So I'm gonna convert this back into chillin' setup with just one hand, which makes things a little more difficult, but I'm gonna do that. All right, so I slide the tail of the sleeping bag right under the divider in the back here, and that just stays up nicely. And then all you have to do is put the back seat back up. Now, this curtain is really getting on my nerves. I'll put this back up. I'll try and put it on correctly this time so it doesn't fall again. 1 second, guys. This ended up being a very long video, but I guess that's what you need for a full setup. All right. And you go. Oh, actually, while this is down, I can show you. Oh my God. It's just a rubber foot, and that's the hook, and it just rests up there with friction. And I promise you guys, this has not once fallen down. When I was actually using it as intended. It's just, I guess, when I'm doing it on video, I'm, you know, if you like pull this curtain, which is what has been happening, if you pull this, it'll come down. So, but anyways, really good curtain. I'm not giving a good show for it right now, but it's a really good curtain setup. So we're back in lounging mode right here. And this is actually my favorite part of the setup. It was a really important thing for me to have a really good lounging spot. So here I can go like this way, and that's a good lounging spot. I can just sit regularly, which is nice. I can put my feet up here if I want to stretch my legs a little bit. So I've got a lot of versatility here, and it works really well, and I'm really happy with it. Now let me go into the back and show you what I've got back there. That's where the power inverter is set up and everything, but I never ever go into the back. The back will be used for like winter storage, or just things I very rarely use. But let me get into the back for you guys. So, gotta slide back into the front. Put on my Crocs. And to actually get into the back here, I'm gonna put the back in bed setup and then pull the whole bed forwards just so I can get easier access to the back for when I go back there. There we go. All right. Right, and this car, the back just opens when you go back there. So let me actually turn the car off. We don't need this on. But that was the dash cam. I already showed you guys that. I have a rear dash cam installed actually on the inside of the car. This one is for the more expensive dash cam. And this just has like a black felt behind it so it won't let light past it. And these wires just cleverly run here and from the side here for the outside one, and those just hook into there and then go into the walls like before. Back here, now I have some more room for storage back here, but I'm not keeping anything there for now. This is just the overstuff bag for the sleeping bag. I have some anti-moisture bags here. I'm not sure if they're actually doing anything at all, but I think it's just good to have those there. And then I have this set up so the fridge is just on the line of this back seat here. Sorry, back latch, what do you call it? So you can access here. I've cable managed the hell out of this. So we have our extension cord that has all the outlets in the front running through here. Everything that's going like resting against actual plastic are in these, I don't know, I call these wire snakes because they look like snakes and they hold wires, but I don't know what they're actually called, but they're just like protective cases that you put around cables to make sure the cables don't get ruined when they're rubbing against plastic and such. Back here I just have a couple miscellaneous things. I've got a North Face bag that I was using initially. I'm not anymore, so actually I can probably get rid of that soon. Just got some extra warmer weather jackets, but I'm not using those either, so that's what I have there. And then if you actually lift up this back is where I have the power inverter set up. So that's actually quite a I have to move the fridge and then kind of shimmy this up because I can't just pull it out because the wires are going through here. So you kind of have to shimmy it up. So it's really, really, really inconvenient to get down there, but I'm gonna do that off camera and then get back to you guys when I have that bottom showing so I can show you the power inverter setup. All right, also I removed our fridge here and shimmied up this back platform here, and that gives us access to the bottom. So this is where typically you'd have your spare tire and your car lift tools. I took that out. Maybe I'm done for doing that, maybe not, I don't know. I wanted the space, and this was a good place to put my massive power inverter, so this was really the only space to do it, so that's what I did. And I did get this professionally installed. I just didn't feel comfortable doing this. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. I'm a DIY guy. I like to learn things and do them myself, and learn from the internet and self-teach myself like everything. But this is one thing that I didn't want to do because this is just a super beefy power inverter, and you can like electrocute yourself with this stuff. So I did get this professionally installed just to make sure everything was tight and good. So what I did back here, well actually so for this is a 1500 watt continuous power inverter. It can surge up to 3000 watts, so this is super, super powerful. I'm only ever using like 900 watts at one time, maybe 1000, but I have a 700 watt microwave. My computer draws about 200 watts. It's a beefy laptop, and the heater pulls about 200 watts, so I'm never getting to those stats there, but I could if I wanted to. This beast can power anything you want. I have the extension cable running into here. Our remote turn on for here is this cable here that plugs in there. And then I have our positive, this is a 2/2/0 gauge wire. This was overkill for the wire. You can just use a regular number 2 gauge wire for this, but your power inverter should come with a guide that'll tell you what size wire you can go. You can always go bigger, it's just gonna be more expensive. So these are really beefy wires. The positive end is going down here, and let me actually take this off so you guys can see what's going on under the hood. So here is our battery. We have the positive end going to the positive end of the battery. We have a fuse in between there. This is a 150 amp fuse. I have no idea about fuses or what number you need for what in power inverter. It might just be like divide by 10, so 1500, you need 150. I don't know, but this is what the dude. So I just went to a car audio shop. That's all you want to look for. A mechanic won't do this. You can look for like specific like conversion or RV shops, but really just the go-to is go to a car audio shop. That they do this type of thing all the time for like stereo installs and stuff, so they'll know what to do. So they installed this, and that just goes there, and then our negative terminal goes from the power inverter, and that typically would just go to the negative end of the battery, but there wasn't really room back there, so what we did is we just fixed that to the ground of the car, the chassis of the car, which is what the negative end of the battery is connected to anyways. And then it was really recommended by this power inverter to connect the ground cable, so we connected the ground cable to the negative terminal, which seems wrong to me, and it might be, but so this is literally just hooking there to there. It seems to me like you would want to have a different wire going out of the ground to, I don't know, somewhere else, but I guess since it's attaching to the same place, like, it doesn't matter. I'm not sure, but that's what they did there. Now, power inverter setups are really quite easy to install. You really just, you connect positive to positive, negative to negative, and put a fuse on the positive terminal, and that's really all you have to do. Or, even the simple ones, they just have clamps, and you just clamp positive to negative, and that's all you do. So it's actually really easy to install. Again, I just didn't feel comfortable with that. If you guys are in a similar situation, just go to a car audio shop, and then they'll install it. It'll cost you some like, it costed me $150 for them to install this. Took them like 2 hours to do, which is very expensive, but fine, whatever. This thing I use every single day, so I wanted to get it professionally done, and that's what I got. So you'll pay for what you get. So that is a huge thing. So my power inverter takes up basically the entire right hand side. I made this divider here, which is just a plank of wood attached to the initial thing that was hooking the spare tire to the ground. I just put that on this piece of wood, and then put some of this plastic mat thing on top, just to prevent any, if sparks were going to come, I don't want anything to catch on fire, so that would just bounce right off or melt if anything. But I'm keeping this side fully clean for just power. This side is actually nothing in here right now, so this is just for like storage space that I would only use maybe like per season or something, like, because it's not a huge pain to get out. It's just like you have to move everything. It takes about 5 minutes to get down here, which, again, it's not the hugest pain in the world, but it is a big pain in the ass. So I don't want to do that every day. So this is only for really deep storage. Right now I have nothing in here, but I definitely can put stuff in here, and that left side will be all for storage. So that's what the back looks like. I'm gonna put this back and meet you guys back at front for the outro. All right, guys, I am back in the back of the Prius, chilling in my chilling space. The back is back where it's supposed to be. It's always a little bit of pain to take out, put back in, but it is what it is. Again, that's for like really back storage, or checking the power inverter, which I probably should do, maybe on a monthly basis, just make sure everything's going good, because a lot of power running through there. But anyways, that was basically the full setup. I don't think there's anything else to show you guys. Oh, actually, right here we have our WeatherTech weather guards on all of our windows. So what that allows us to do, I showed you in the front of the video, but it's really, really nice because you can roll down your windows a little bit, even when it's raining, and specifically, and maybe even more importantly, is that you can do that without anybody actually seeing that your windows are rolled down. So because these are so tinted, if you have your windows down here, nobody can actually tell because those weather guards are on the outside, which is really nice because, when you're living in a car, condensation is a huge issue. And so you always have to have your windows rolled down at night, even in the cold. But that's what you got to do to fight condensation. So those are really clutch. On the outside of my car, in the front, so I bought this car used, so I don't actually know the number of tint that I have, but in the front I have, I don't know, some tint. It's not the darkest, but it also doesn't let people see in really easily, so that's really nice. And in the back I have hella tint, and I'm not sure what number it is, but it's very dark and you can barely see in. And then on top, I have all of these window covers, so you cannot see anything at all through the back. So 100% blackout in the back, and then I've got, you know, whatever tint in the front I have. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? That's kind of it. So I hope this video was useful to you guys. I know this went super long. I didn't expect to make this like 40 minutes long, but it is what it is. I probably went into too much detail for some of those things, but hopefully that was useful for some of you. Again, I hope some of you didn't feel the need to watch the whole thing. You can skip around as much as usual. I'll probably say that in the beginning. But for the third time now, I hope this is useful to some of you guys. And let me know if you guys saw something that I did that you think I could be doing better. I think this setup here is probably room for improvement. Let me go to 0.5 again. Maybe I'll have like a wooden platform here so that I can utilize this vertical space a little bit more. But you know, let me turn you this way. I am happy to hear any advice you guys have, or you know, any thoughts about what you guys are doing in your setups, or if you have any questions for me. I've done all this myself, DIY'd it, so I've been forged in fire. So let me know if you guys have any questions, because I likely can't answer most of them. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more future videos of just Prius stuff in general. And for today, this is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys later. Peace out.